Healthcare, a leader in providing senior living, home healthcare, and hospice-related services throughout the entire DFW Metroplex. Our second sponsor is Dallas Renal Group, a physician group that Dr. Vic Prakash and I belong to. Dallas Renal Group provides comprehensive kidney care, including transplant and home dialysis services. Information can be found on DallasRenalGroup.com or on the Dallas Renal Group Facebook page. My name is Dr. Sylvie Simon, and I'm co-hosting today's show with Dr. Vic Prakash. We are live in studio with Dr. John Shero and Mr. John Shero and Ms. Sherry Lansdell discussing wellness and urgent care. The number to the studio is 972-235-5555. To be a part of our conversation, please do call and ask your questions.
All right, we took several calls during the break, and the number one question is, what's the name of your urgent care center, where are they located, and what's a good phone number?
Wonderful. Let me cover that. It's Primary Plus Urgent Care. Our Dallas location is at 15240 Dallas Parkway. The phone number for that center is 214-363-7447. Our other location is in Fort Worth at 5900 South Hewland Street. That phone number is 817-289-7600.
I know that's a lot of information for our drivers out there. At any time, you can go to our Facebook page or website, doctalklive.com, and we'll have our guest information linked on there for you. Now, we had a couple other questions. One caller was curious, do you guys do annual physicals?
Absolutely. We do actually a promotional event too during school physical time. So a lot of schools will require your school physical, so you just bring in the documentation that the school normally sends home with your child, and we're happy to do that. We also do work physicals for folks starting new jobs, so they can come in. We can take care of that for them also.
All right. Now, one caller, we discussed this question, but I think it's important to reiterate the difference. And what is urgent care versus primary care?
I took that the first time. I'm going to let Sherry cover it this time.
So primary care, if they're asking, sometimes primary care would be a physician, their primary care physician. So you have your own doctor that's taking care of you. Urgent care is just a supplement to your primary care physician. So we're there when you can't get into your doctor's office. We're there when maybe they're not open certain days or certain hours. And then we will communicate with your physician. So if you come in and see us because you couldn't get into your doctor's office, we are happy to fax your chart, your record to your physician, as well as even call the office and give any updates or changes that we needed to do for you. So we're not trying to take away from your primary care physician, we're just trying to be there when they can't be there for you.
That's fantastic. Now, one other caller was very excited to hear about the availability of flu shots, but he has a 4-year-old son and was wondering if you could bring him in for a flu shot.
The flu that I have in my facility at this point in time would not be for minors. So just based on what I have, it would be for people that are 18 and older. So there are specific flu shots for children as well as seniors. So the one that we have is only for people between probably the 18 and 65.
Thank you, guys. Another part of our program was on their sports and wellness side of their practice. And before the break, we had briefly touched on this, but Mr. Shero, can you tell us what type of shoes do you offer in this realm?
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people think of diabetic shoes. If you've been around for a while, you look back at diabetic shoes as they were 20 years ago, and they were shoes that absolutely no one would want to wear. Now we carry a lot of very reputable diabetic shoe companies, including OrthoFeet, Dr. Comfort, Anodyne. Brooks makes a diabetic shoe. New Balance makes a diabetic shoe. So really, the diabetic shoes of today are shoes that you would not be able to tell the difference between those shoes and any other pair of shoes on the street. So it's very user friendly in that you're not going to walk out in the public and everybody's going to look and say, look at the diabetic shoes.
We've got a phone call. Hey, you're on Doc Talk. What's your question?
At this time, no, we don't offer that. That takes a little bit more involvement in terms of for a primary care facility because you are actually injecting into a joint. So that is more specialized to an orthopedic doctor that's doing that.
And so, guys, going back to the diabetic shoe versus regular shoe, I'm glad there's newer models and it kind of blends in with every other shoe. But what makes a diabetic shoe different than a regular shoe?
Diabetic shoes are made specifically to protect the feet of diabetics. Many diabetics have circulatory issues, neuropathy, loss of sensation in their feet. So they're a big risk because if they end up with any kind of blisterings, wounds, sores, then it can lead to amputation. So diabetic shoes are really it's one of the very few things in life that seems to be on the front end of it instead of the back end, which is great. So we're really there to prevent. And diabetic shoes are made with extra width, extra depth. They're seamless on the inside. They have a built-in break into them so that the patient doesn't have to break in the shoes. The seamless on the inside also keeps seams from the shoe of rubbing on the feet. They're specifically measured and fit in person by a podorthist to the patient, so it's not like going and picking out a retail shoe. The other thing is it does come, every pair of shoes comes with a Plastizode insert, either a heat moldable where we mold it to their foot or a custom insert. And a custom insert is made specifically to that person's foot. So it is there to relieve pressure and also eliminate shear that can cause problems.
Wow, that's fantastic. So you're basically making a custom shoe for someone.
That's correct.
They have to have diabetes. Can I get one?
Well, it's a great question. Most insurance, it's interesting because there are a lot of people that have a lot of issues with their feet, whether it be some type of deformity or some discomfort with their feet. And we really can't help everyone from an insurance perspective because they have to be diabetic. But if your feet bother you, that's where the custom inserts come in, because it's not about the shoe, it's about the insert. And that's how we support your feet and help offload that pressure for our non-diabetics.
I asked the same question, being a healthcare professional and being on my feet. I'm like, do I have to have diabetes? They're very comfortable shoes, especially for folks who stand on their feet for a long time.
All right, we've got another caller. Hey, you're on the air. What's your question? Good question.
If you have no insurance, we can do a pair of shoes for $142 and the inserts are $60. So basically it's $200 for a pair of diabetic shoes, which are made specifically for diabetics, and the inserts that are also made for diabetics. So the cost is well worth it because at the end of the day, you'd spend that for a pair of retail shoes and not have the protection you need.
That is very true, and we've done a lot of spending, at least I am guilty of that, on shoes. Guys, we are with Mr. John Shero and Ms. Sherry Lansdell discussing wellness and urgent care centers, and specifically wellness for our feet and orthotic shoes. The number to the studio is 972-235-5555. Again, the number is 972-235-5555. Let's take a caller. Hi, welcome to Doc Talk. What's your question?
Great question, and a very important part of our evaluation when we see a patient. We want to know their activity level. If it's a patient that has diabetes, that is exercising, we certainly want to put them in an athletic shoe. If it's someone that spends more time in an office, we want to put them in a dress shoe. So it's very important not only that we're getting the right kind of shoe, but that we get the right style of shoe, because we want that diabetic shoe to be the one that they're wearing most of the time.
Let's take another caller. Hi, what's your question for our experts? Sure, if you can repeat that again.
It's $142 for the shoes and $60 for the inserts.
Hi, welcome to Doc Talk. What's your question?
So are you asking if we can evaluate someone with Crohn's disease or treat someone with Crohn's disease? Correct. There are several GI doctors that could evaluate him. If they came to an urgent care, I would send him with referrals to be evaluated by specialty doctors for Crohn's. But there are things out there that help people with Crohn's live with the disease much better than, again, living in a hospital. So there are services.
Thank you. Let's take another live caller. What's your question?
It's interesting. No one has a normal foot because there's no such thing as a normal foot. So whether it's a flat foot, whether it's a high arch, both types of feet have issues that create pressure in certain areas of their foot. The whole key behind diabetic shoes and custom inserts is to relieve that pressure no matter the type of the foot. And that's the reason that the custom inserts are so important, because it is made to that foot to relieve the pressure either way. Flat foot, high arch, either way.
So, guys, does insurance, and we touched base on insurance if it's diabetic shoes, but how about specifically Medicare? Does that cover?
Medicare does cover for diabetic shoes. As a matter of fact, the therapeutic shoe bill was actually a bill, not a CMS Medicare. So Medicare, they do require documentation, which means you have to have an evaluation by a physician. The physician does have to prescribe. It has to be in, any physician can evaluate and prescribe. It has to be an MD or a DO that actually certifies for the shoes. And by certifying, that means you have to have a relationship with your MD or DO, and that they're treating you for your diabetes and they recognize your need for a pair of diabetic shoes. And based on that documentation, Medicare will pay for one pair of shoes and 3 sets of inserts every calendar year.
Oh, perfect. That was going to be my next question. How long do these shoes typically last, and how frequently do you recommend replacing them?
They last and are warranted for 1 year. If there's a manufacturer defect within a year, you get a new pair of shoes.
Let's take another question. You're on Doc Talk. What's your... Hello? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, probably the $400 or $500 orthotics that you're getting are made more for a non-diabetic active person that may have plantar fasciitis or foot pain. We do those for $350, by the way, so our number is 817-900-2250. We can fix you up with that. But the $60 orthotics are made of plastizote, and there's a difference in really what you're trying to accomplish. Plastizote is made to relieve pressure in areas that may cause any type of breakdown, skin breakdown, or callousing. The other orthotics that you're talking about are much more to support the feet and relieve pain.
All right, let's take another call. Hey, you're on the air. What's your question? Mr. Shero?
They aren't made specifically to relieve neuropathy pain. That's a very difficult situation to relieve, but they do help with the neuropathy by supporting and providing support for your feet. And that does help relieve some of the symptoms of neuropathy.
All right. Well, we're approaching the end of our show, and because I know everybody called asking about the name of your urgent care, please go ahead and tell us one more time.
Our urgent care name is Primary Plus Urgent Care.
And what's the website?
It's primaryplusuc.com.
Great. And again, you can always go on Doc Talk Live, and all their information will be linked for you to find.
So thank you again for being with us, Mr. Shero and Ms. Lansdell, and thank you for all the information that you have provided. Again, you guys can check them out on our website, and please do join us next week for another exciting show. Until then, stay healthy, DFW.